On today's show, we take a deeper dive into some of the Sixers' undrafted free agent signings. Also, Tyrese Maxey with a cryptic tweet. Does it have any substance? We will break it all down and a whole bunch more. Let's go. Perfect. What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into Philly Take with RB. Like always, leave a like if you do enjoy this content. Feel free to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming content. Today, we are back, and we're breaking down some of the undrafted pickups. I always love these stories, you know, especially guys who come from their own cities, and they're the guy, right? They're the main guy. They're all over the press. And then they go and they realize, even though it's a small world, a lot of opportunity, a lot of hungry players coming in, trying to earn spots, and they're chasing their dream. And, you know, there's only 60 slots in the draft, so there's not room for everybody. And these guys have talent. It's just who will bring it out of themselves, right? Who will make the most out of it? I love that opportunity factor. And the three guys that the Sixers picked up post-draft the other night after the DeAnthony Melton trade, Aminu Mohammed, Michael Foster Jr., and Julian Champagnie. I think one of these guys is an absolute steal. We will get into that. But we start with Aminu Mohammed. As Chris Haynes says here, Aminu Mohammed, undrafted free agent guard out of Georgetown, reaching agreement on an Exhibit 10 contract with the Sixers. Aminu Mohammed played at Georgetown last year. He was a very good high school player, highly touted. Made the trip to Georgetown. He put up 13.7 points per game, 8 rebounds a game. An interesting, switchable defender, athletic player. Maybe that's why the Sixers went in and gave this guy a chance. Now, it seems like he's probably going to be in the G League for most of the year. He might even bounce around to a couple different teams. I don't know if he's a long-term type of thing. Maybe he'll get a camp invite, but he definitely needs to improve in terms of efficiency and scoring at will and just being a smarter player. He definitely struggled with that in his 1 year at Georgetown. We'll see if he can improve. We'll see if he is able to get that down as more experience comes. And, I don't think he was a guy that was ever expected to be drafted, but, we'll see if he embraces that opportunity. And the next guy, Michael Foster Jr., was signed from the G League. So it was actually a free agent deal by the Sixers. Now, this is a player I definitely expect to get a camp invite. And, hey, he might be one of those guys that could crack the roster. He's still very young. I believe he's 19 or 20 years old. He was a highly touted prospect, number 22 in his high school class last year. And he's even listed as number 3 on ESPN's top undrafted rookies. This guy is a force. He's a forward. He averaged almost 15 a game last year, almost 9 rebounds per game, 2 blocks per game. All right. And he played against better competition in the G League. He played some of these other prospects that got drafted. And he just seems to me to be a guy whose game could translate, but it's definitely going to take some time. It was interesting because I was reading about how he was actually supposed to go to Arizona State, right? And that's where James Harden went. But at the last second, he kind of elected to go with the semi-pro route and go to the G League and bet on himself. And I have no problem with a guy betting on himself now. Whether that took a dip in his game playing against that type of competition, that is something you could definitely weigh. But nonetheless, here he is trying to find a spot. And who knows, maybe he could be a guy that cracks the NBA sometime down the road, maybe in a couple years as he becomes more polished with his game. We'll have to wait and see about that. And the last guy here is the one I believe the Sixers, pulled a heist with. I think they got an absolute steal doing more research and looking at this guy. And that is Julian Champagnie. Now, Julian Champagnie's coming from the Big East. It's funny, I remember this guy's name. I always thought his name was Julian Champagne. And, he's coming from St. John's. The Sixers signed him to a 2-way deal. Also, the Exhibit 10 deal could be converted to a 2-way deal. So we'll see what happens. That was for Aminu Mohammed. But Julian Champagnie, a 2-way deal. This guy, to me, could have a potential shot down the road at cracking the roster. When you look at Julian Champagnie, as I'm looking at his game, he can knock down shots. He can hit difficult shots, off the catch and shoot. That's really where he relies his game on right now. He's a 3-and-D player, but he is a 6'8" forward with a big wingspan, a very switchable defender. He could probably guard at least 1 through 3, 1 through 4. And he's learning how to put it on the floor a little bit, has a long way to go. But another young player, I think he's 20 or 21, Julian Champagnie is maybe one of the steals of this draft. He led the Big East in scoring last year, above 20 points a game. He came in second this year in scoring in the Big East. And like I said, he's a very capable defender. He gets out on his guys. Sometimes he budges a little too much. You'll see that if you go watch his tape. But those are things that you can fix based on coaching. Now, his jump shot, a little bit off form. He gives it like a little bit of a push, a little bit of a lag on his jump shot, but it does go in, right? And you think about guys like Lonzo Ball, you can give those guys like construction on their jump shot, can work on those little mechanical things. Overall, though, this guy has the confidence of a warrior. He does need to play stronger around the rim, and he needs to get a little more into shape, right? Get a little more athletic, a little more bounce on his game. But when I look at Julian Champagnie, a two-way forward, 6'8", knock down shots. He shot, 37% from three last year, I believe. This guy can play, man. Averaging 20 and 7 a game, averaging almost 2 steals a game. He can play ball. He's definitely a guy I think will be in the G League, and I think the Sixers, hit a home run here. Now, I'm not saying he's going to end up becoming an NBA star. He's going to end up becoming a sixth man of the year or anything like that. What I'm saying is, if given the opportunity, which is a big if with this team, I think this guy's going to open some eyes. I really do. He actually entered the draft last year, and due to an injury, he kind of slipped a little bit. He entered again this year. But you see the potential, right? He's one of those guys, you see the upside, and he can definitely make things happen on the court. He's a great off-ball cutter. He knows how to get himself involved in the game. And I'm really big on his game. I really am. Here's then an article snippet from someone who was talking about Julian Champagnie, 6'6" without shoes, and 212 at the NBA draft combine. And he averaged 19.2 a game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals as a junior. He did make 33.7% of three-point tries, says Sam Viceni of The Athletic, but that is an ungenerous reflection of his shooting ability. Quote, a ridiculous 73% of his catch-and-shoot opportunities were guarded last year, which means that he hit 32% in those scenarios. He's a better shooter than that, makes them off relocations and with a hand to his face, and hit step-backs going to his right and to his left. Yeah, and adding on to that, when I watch his game, he has like this little jab step he goes to. He needs to develop more, especially with his handles, or he could become a one-dimensional player, and that would not bode well. We've had forwards here that can't really put it on the floor. If you get this guy the right kind of coaching and development, and he can, really add that to his arsenal, especially as a young player, this could be a steal of the draft. I really believe that. Now, obviously, you kind of want that from Jaden Springer being your first-round pick last year, but hey, at this point, if you can contribute, if you can develop and be that guy, you have to be given an opportunity, in my eyes. And I'm really high on Julian Champagnie, and it'll be interesting to see his route and see how he goes this year as we move forward. The other thing we wanted to get into today is the Tyrese Maxey stuff. Started getting some notifications earlier today. People were worried. Tyrese Maxey put out this tweet and deleted it. Said, never again. He almost deleted it instantly, apparently. People were sending this to me. Like, what does this mean? Is Tyrese Maxey getting traded? Does he hate Philadelphia? Somebody piss him off? I don't know what this means. I really don't know, but he did put this on his Instagram story. He says, I'm so locked in. By the way, Tyrese Maxey is getting a little buffer as well. You saw the drastic change in his body from last year, or, his rookie year to last year, and now it looks like he's getting even bigger, more athletic. This kid works. Like, I'm in love with Tyrese Maxey's game, not only because of his drastic improvements from one year to the next, but just the heart. It embodies Philadelphia. Do I dare make a comparison like an AI? This kid wants it, man. He wants it. That's my favorite thing about Tyrese Maxey. Yeah, he's adding step back, threes from 35 feet out. I love it. Yeah, he's adding a great floater to his game. Yeah, he can blow by anybody. I love the kid's dog, man. He wants it bad. And I'm just really excited about him. And I will tell you right now, I don't know what that tweet meant, but what I do know is the Sixers are not, I repeat, not trading Tyrese Maxey. It just would not make sense. Daryl Morey loves him. He's not moving, okay? I don't know what that was. But at age 21, this guy had improved in 1 year more than most players really improve in 5 years. I'm just being honest with you. And here's a tweet I put out the other day, a clip from Tyrese Maxey. By the way, how good is it knowing that an off-season jump shot video will actually translate to the court, unlike other people, okay? Tyrese Maxey was third in the league in three-point percentage this past year at age 21. A guy who shot 29% in college, a guy who came in his rookie year and shot around the same thing he could not knock down. And in 1 year, given more opportunity, he might not have even, received that opportunity. And he comes out here and embraces it. He embraces the role. Yeah, he struggled in the playoffs a little bit. He had some big moments. He had some small moments. He will learn. He's 21 years old. But just seeing this, repetition, man, knocking down shots in the gym every day at 5 in the morning. This kid wants to be great. There's no way I see him getting traded. And I hope he's here for a long time. I really think Tyrese Maxey, I think the potential is written on the wall. You can see it, man. But most importantly, he wants to be great. And with that work ethic, with that mindset, I think this kid's going to be something special. And I'm excited to see the leap this year. If he made that much of an improvement last year, imagine this year. But we'll wait and see what happens, man. Those are my thoughts. I want to hear from you on everything. Give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. Like always, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and like always, I will catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
Perfect.